Hello, everyone. This is Erin Morgan. I am with Insight Media, and I am excited to be here today with Selin Olmsted. She is the founder and CEO of Selin Olmsted Studio in New York City, and she has a very cool business doing trend forecasting, eyewear design, eyewear trend forecasting, and a lot of other amazing things. So, thank you so much for joining us, Selin, and welcome today.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's great to be here with you. And I just want to start off with asking you, can you tell us a little bit about Selin Olmsted Studio? What do you do? When did you start up with the business? And yeah, what do you do in the industry?
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity. So, Selin Olmsted Studio is an eyewear design, eyewear trend forecasting, product development, production QC oversight, and importing studio. We provide end-to-end services to all small, mid-size, or big independent or licensed eyewear companies globally. We started 10 years ago. We have been founded 10 years ago in 2015.
Amazing.
We are the very first eyewear design studio of USA. When we have been founded, there were other eyewear designer colleagues, but we are officially the first studio.
Fantastic.
And 3 years ago, we launched the very first Eyewear Trend Report of the global eyewear market with our 2025 Eyewear Trend Report. And in October 25, we have launched our third one, 2027 Eyewear Trend Report. Our goal has been always to provide this resource and craft this resource for all segments of the eyewear industry. What I mean by that is from material manufacturers, eyewear manufacturers, creative teams, product teams, to optical store professionals and owners, and really creating a tool and a resource that's entirely geared towards them and created by eyewear professionals.
Fantastic. I'm just going to show, since you're talking about it here, kind of your website, and that shares kind of some of what you do, some of the collections I believe it looks like you have designed. And then one of the slides on here is also the trend report. And of course, you can click up there to be able to see it. But it's such a beautiful website, and it gives such a great kind of overview of what you do. So you're kind of saying you do these end-to-end services. What does that include?
Absolutely. When we first founded our studio, we started with only eyewear design. As we continued to work and meet new potential customers and brands, we realized product development was needed, and then later on, production oversight was needed. Then by some of our clients, we got a request that if we could also oversee quality control. There were a couple of requests where we have been asked to also import as well on behalf of our client brands. So at this moment, we can do all of those, from eyewear design to eyewear trend forecasting to product development. With product development, I mean prototyping and technical drawing approval process up until tooling is approved. And then later on, production oversight, quality control oversight, approval for shipping, and as final importing on behalf of our client brands from another country to USA. We have an FDA import license for sunglasses and optical glasses that we renew every year. The goal is to empower small independent brands where the entrepreneur or the creative or the CEO has a vision, has a very unique vision, but they are a new and upcoming brand, and we want to support them.
That's exciting. Well, sounds like you have very comprehensive services for companies of all different levels. And I just pulled up here your 2027 trend report. And I know you mentioned to me earlier, you've been doing the trend reports for about 3 years now. How did you come to do the trend report? Did you find there was a need in the market? And how do you do your trend spotting? How do you find the trends, and where do you look for those things?
For the past couple of years when designing eyewear collections, we always looked at trend forecasting reports, the beautiful ones. Really, they're also pretty and beautifully executed and crafted from WJ San, Nelly Rodi, Trendstop, Lee Edelcourt. They all do stunning work. However, all this trend forecasting information is being created mostly for fashion design and fashion brands or fashion accessories brands, but more for handbags and other things that are not worn on the face. So we would look at these reports and we would see fashion show images of models wearing eyewear at the runway. However, the world of eyewear is not all runway images. We needed
Certainly.
to go more deep dive into that. And the other thing, what we realized is the colors, the Pantone colors that they were communicating were not all face friendly to put on the face as an
Ah,
eyewear color. And our materials as eyewear product people were acetates, titaniums, and stainless steels. But in addition to acetates, we had sun lenses. And it was really difficult to find those Pantones and find the
mhm.
exact equivalents and matches with sun lens material or with acetate material, because that means then the material manufacturers would need it to copy those as is as well. So what we decided is, why don't we, as eyewear community members, create a resource and where we only have tools of and materials of eyewear industry, and we make sure we gear it for all segments of the eyewear industry. And we launched first the 2025 Eyewear Trend Report. In that one, we forecasted 8 trends. Basically, it's the way we communicate trends is we always look at first what's happening outside of fashion, outside of eyewear. We look at macro concepts, for example, in music, art, culture, in interior design, architecture, in industrial design, in also socio-political kind of like environment as well. Then from there, we take the kind of like hints and the patterns. Then we do a runway analysis. After that, we look at street, what's happening as far as the street style goes. And after that, we collect all this information and we see how that is trickling or that will be trickling into sun eyewear and then optical eyewear separately. And as final, we communicate a color palette for each trend with acetates and with lenses. We provide the
Nice.
vendor name, we provide the code. With lenses, we provide the category number, the transparency, what type of material it is, whether it's nylon, PC, or CR39. And with acetates, also we provide vendor name, color code, and there is a 3D color rendered of each chip and of each lens. 2027 was the first year where we welcomed a think tank group because we felt like we needed to welcome professionals and experts from other industries and eyewear community as well. So we welcomed the fashion director of Odda Korea, which is a fashion magazine which we love to follow from Korea. She joined from editorial perspective, from fashion editorial perspective. And then after that, we also welcomed 2 business owners from 2 innovative R&D focused eyewear manufacturers from China, Davis and Edward. The reason for that is we got a great feedback from our customers who purchased the 2026 and 25 report. And some of them mentioned that manufacturing innovations actually influence the trends as well. And they are absolutely right about that. So this is
Hmm.
one of the factors. So we wanted to hear from actual manufacturers, what are the actual innovations they are working on? And we took those techniques and we also incorporated to 2027 report. So each trend has 2 to 5 manufacturing innovations that's related to that trend.
Wow, that's fantastic. So the 2027 report recently came out, or a few months ago. When do
Yes,
you issue, do you issue the reports? Yeah, for the future seasons.
mhm. So we have to make sure that it is available for the product teams before they start their seasonal collections. So every product team kind of starts and they in a different time and they have different calendars and lead times. However, ideally, to cover all product teams globally, we should be launching the trend report by within the month of September.
I
And
see.
this is our goal for 28 report. If we do that, we can cover definitely the big significant majority of the global eyewear industry.
That's fantastic. So, can you give us a little sneak peek? So, we'll start with 2026. What would you say are some of the key trends in eyewear for 2026 that we'll see that our readers, the opticians, the optometrists, the offices, what should they be looking for in terms of trends that will be popular for their customers and their patients?
Absolutely. For 26, we identified five key eyewear trends. One of them is called sculptural.
Okay.
Sculptural is the trend where designers in industrial design, architecture, interior design are no longer just designing super perpendicular shapes. Everything is sculptural. Everything has really unique surfacing. It
Mhm.
almost feels like a chair or any interior design item can be placed on top of the table as a work of art and
Mhm.
adored. And
Nice
every plane, every surface of the product tells a story. You can
story.
explore it. And especially if it's transparent material, the way the daylight hits is just stunning. A lot of designers, eyewear designers and product teams are approaching to eyewear in this way as well. So we
Mhm.
see a lot of unique beveling techniques, surfacing techniques, step down, step ups, the tactile elements that are present on the outside or inside of the eyewear. That's really pleasant and also invigorating a lot of multiple senses at the same time. So it's not only good for view and we can admire it kind of visually, but also we can feel it and fingertips interacting on different parts of the temple and the eyewear. The second trend is sentimental. In a world that's a little bit unpredictable, we are going back to the kind of like earlier years, and we think of where did we feel cozy, what gives us a really nice cozy kind of like a pleasant feeling. We think of our grandma's, grandpa's home where we spend time, those corners and those details, or our childhood. And
Nice.
there's a lot of sentiment going back to elements and products of retro years. This is happening especially with Gen Z and newer generations, where they're saying, oh, maybe the earlier years were better years. And they want to use the LP player, they want to use the Walkman, they want to listen to cassette tapes again. So there is like a kind of going back to the DVD player. There is this kind of retroness, going back to the childhood, connecting with the inner child in a playful way is coming to place. So we
Amazing.
see a lot of asymmetrical details on the left and the right temple, a lot of unique inside temple branding, metal decorations coming to place. Pan quotidien is kind of redefining the norm of beauty. Maybe the beauty can be with a lot of hardware. Maybe the beauty doesn't have to be with beautiful color. Beauty can be defined maybe with black, with dark gray, dark metallic. We look at inspiration to the rave kids in Berlin in the 90s and in New York City. We look at a lot of punk rock elements and bands in England back then in the past, but also a lot of new punk bands are also coming right now and becoming really popular as well. And punk is about resistance. Punk is about peaceful resistance, but also being anti-system. So a lot of people who might be questioning system or not, they are kind of expressing themselves with the new norm of beauty. In Pan Quotidien, we see eyewear lenses, for example, full coverage. Category 3 smoke lens, don't kind of interact with me. I want to cover my entire eye. Or category 1, red tinted lenses or some vibrant colors that we used to see in raves. The eyewear colors are not so colorful. They are in the blacks and grays or in a lot of metals, as Gentle Monster is doing. And metallics are still present with acetates and plastic as well.
Nice.
Surrealism is kind of creating a new reality. And it was also the 100-year manifesto last year with the Surrealist Manifesto. So there were a lot of exhibitions about surrealism in the world. we see the haute couture designer Schiaparelli becoming extremely popular and important. So we look at basically a lot of designers are questioning, is this, for example, a shoe, or is this part of a bustier and a corset? Is this an umbrella, or is this a handbag? Is this a pencil, or is this an accessory on a shirt? Or is this a hair tie, like made out of hair, or is this a tie for a shirt? So a lot of these,
What a wonderful trend.
it is so fun. And in fact,
Fun.
Silhouette used to do this a lot in the past in the vintage. And what they have, there's one metal eyewear style that we have in the trend report where a hand is the metal end piece of
Oh, that's
the
great.
metal eyewear. So it can be done in a really unique way. And the fifth one is ultralight. Why we have a lot of modernization of retro with kind of like statement eyewear. We also see exactly 180-degree opposite from that, where a lot of customers don't want to feel their eyewear. So
Certainly.
materials as high density acetate, where we can do super, super thin thicknesses, and rim heights, or titanium and beta titanium come in place. And 3D printed materials are allowing us to do also super light sports eyewear styles as well. So ultralight is definitely one of the important trends that performs well in sales, and that is very present upon us, with us. Yeah, so these are the trends that we see for 26 at this moment.
I love it. Wow, this is very exciting. It's so cool, such cool trends, but yet still very relatable, for different folks, different people of different style, inclinations, but still very wearable, which is so crucial, but great to know and really fun. So that can bring a lot of fun to display and to sharing that with patients and customers. This is a little more far reaching, but could you share with us even just a teaser of what's included in the 2027 report? We still have almost a whole year, ahead of us before 2027 hits, but it's great to get ready for that, right? In your buying, in your mind of what am I going to stock, or what am I going to be looking for when I do my shopping, right, for my optical.
Absolutely. So all our reports are available on our website, selinolmsted.com, under the trend report tab on the right top corner. So we also forecasted 5 trends as well for 2027. The first one is free to be downloaded, and that one is called Blendism. And Blendism is basically where different lifestyles and different worlds are kind of clashing, are blending, are merging.
Mhm.
And
That's a fun
this is,
trend too.
yeah, it's so fun. This is what we started seeing in music, in art, in interior design, in architecture, and in fashion. So we wanted to share that with our community. What's happening, for example, in eyewear, sports eyewear, in fashion eyewear, or lifestyle eyewear are all merging together. We have now possibly sports eyewear components, like a really high function lens, such as photochromic lens with AR coating, or with polarized lenses, or AR color boosted technology lenses. And we place them on fashion eyewear. Or we take a fashion frame front, really like glamorous, fabulous woman, oversized fashion frame front, but we put sports movement temples from the same materials. Or we take a classic P3 on the front, but we put these vintage paddle temples on the arms. Or we take sports eyewear that is super wrapped and curved with the head curve and has 8 base lenses, but we make that in acetate, which is a fashion lifestyle eyewear material with tortoises and Havanas and novelties, instead of an injected plastic material that we used to do.
I see.
So worlds are blending, archetypes are
Yes.
clashing. And the way to do that in eyewear can be in many different ways. Designers can think of ways where the outer shape of the frame front is not parallel to the lens shape. So lens
Hmm.
shape can be maybe an aviator lens shape, but maybe the outer frame shape can be a navigator or deep square rectangle frame shape. So with that comes with irregular rim heights that can be emphasized with bevels and surfacing. And we can also use, like, for example, JF Ray, the incredible fashion brand, does with the optical frames, where we can use titanium, carbon fiber, horn acetate, regular acetate tortoise, all in one optical frame. And material duality is something we're going to be seeing a lot on eyewear. And 2027 in general is a year where eyewear frame colors are not going to be super bright and saturated colors. Gen Z is becoming really important with the discretionary income becoming higher and higher. They don't wear super bright saturated colors for frames, but they
Right.
carry the seasonal color story with lenses. So this is exactly what's happening with 27. We're going to see a lot of neutrals, tons of different tones of khakis, beautiful browns and beiges and quartzes in different types of really, really rich tortoises and striations, different versions of cocobolo that used to be super popular in 13, 14 years ago from Oliver People, horn tortoises, horn striations, but definitely in neutrals. However, the lens will be kind of happy color, more mineral baked, energetic tones.
How fun. That's another great trend, right? And really one
Yeah.
to look forward to. And it's one that's very wearable and customizable to the person, right? What color lens do they want to have in there? And that's how they're bringing their color in. I love this, and I love the blendism. It's such a cool trend because it's combining just these like modern and nostalgic and so many different things. And this cover page of the trend report shows that kind of the lens is almost a different shape than the frame, right? So it's
Absolutely. It's
very
almost
and
like a shape within the shape in a way, like concentric two
exactly.
different shapes.
And that is such a beautiful example because it also has that kind of muted color tone. Because it would be, with that kind of shape within a shape, there's a lot going on already, right? So if it was in bright red or something, it would be a lot, right? To
Exactly.
kind of to wear.
Exactly.
Certain people can pull it off, but yeah, but it's a great trend in those beautiful color tones too.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we also indicate like what type of manufacturing innovations are supporting this trend, such as multicolor, multi-material laminations and combinations, or now our manufacturers are able to put thin metal chassis and components inside the acetate frames. They laminate it in a very flush, seamless way. So all of that is really helping us to create eyewear that is going to this direction.
Wonderful. Wow. Well, this is fantastic. I cannot thank you enough for sharing all of this information and your beautiful trend reports with us. And so folks can go to your website. It's
Mm-hmm.
Selin Olmsted, SelinOlmsted.com. And you can find the trend reports there. You can download samples of the trend reports, and you can kind of see a little bit more about Selin Olmsted Studio there as well.
Absolutely. And we're always here for any questions. And if our optical store professionals or anyone listening to this interview would like to kind of jump on a quick Zoom with our team, browse through the report before the purchase, or would like to speak with our team, we're here. They can reach us through the contact page on our website as well.
Fantastic. Wow. Well, thank you so much, Celine. Really appreciate you joining us today and sharing all of this great information. And thank you for sharing with our readers.
My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you all for joining us here today for our Trend Report interview. We will have more information on our website at insightmediagroup.com. And please visit us there for more trend information to come. We will see you all again soon.